All right, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Melinda Brooks. I am the Specialized Dockets Manager for Franklin County Municipal Court out here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm on the NACM Board of Directors, and I am the Chair of the Communications Committee. And before we get started, and while folks are dropping in here, I was just going to share a few things about NACM as an association. Because we recognize that while many of you might be members, quite a few might also not be members because this particular webinar is open to everyone. So we just thought we'd take a quick second to tell you a little bit about the association before we get started. NACM is the largest organization of court management professionals in the world with members from all levels and types of courts. Some of the purposes are to develop and improve leadership in the judicial system and leadership qualities of court managers, promote the interdependence of court managers and judges, promote and encourage the continuing education opportunities for court managers, and encourage fellowship, networking, and a sense of unity among its members. NACM membership has many benefits, which are listed on this slide for you. In addition to discounted rates for conferences and access to our publications and guides, as mentioned, it offers an opportunity for networking, collaboration, and mentorship opportunities. And you can switch slides, Terry. We have 2 conferences a year. In March will be our mid-year conference, and that will be in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I think it's right around St. Patrick's Day this year instead of February. So we can look forward to that. And the next slide. Our annual conference in July will be in Jacksonville, Florida. So watch for news on the themes and the topics that will be talked about in these different conferences. Just note too that NACM members get a discounted rate for conferences, and they also get the opportunity to apply for scholarships. Go to the next slide. One of the flagship programs of NACM is the NACM Core, and I won't go into too much detail, other than to say that it's basically a 13-module curriculum that's broken into 3 sections of principle, vision, and practice, and define and demonstrate how those principles integrate into the everyday work and in different types of courts. And I just recommend that you look into it because it is a great, affordable way to provide leadership training and certification, not certification, but you can get recognized with certificates for different levels of accomplishment in the program. So it's really great for up and coming leaders. And the last slide. NACM also, and our committee specifically over the years, has produced many different guides for courts to reference and access. This slide specifically highlights the DEI guide that we did recently or in the last few years. And we also have a really neat AI guide that is very interactive and is frequently updated in partnership with many different entities. So you can find all of those on the website. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our presenter, Terry. He's going to introduce himself, and we'll take it from there.
Great. Thank you very much. And welcome, everybody, to Transforming Courts with Saas and Analytics and AI. We're really looking forward to giving this presentation about empowering people through technology. My name is Terry Derrick. I serve as the general manager for our courts division here at Tyler Technologies, and I'm very thankful to be here today. As we get started, I really just want to do a few things. Number one, try to hopefully get to know you a little bit better as you get to know me a little bit better, and also test out the controls of our meeting. And so I'm here based in Plano, Texas, just north of Dallas. And if you wouldn't mind, on the controls, you may find a chat function. That'll be one of the opportunities that you can use today. If you wouldn't mind just dropping in where you're watching from, that'd be great. That'd give me a chance to get to know you a little bit more. And then as we go through, we'll be asking some polls. So we'll offer those up and give you an opportunity to have more of a 2-way presentation here instead of a 1-way and get some of that feedback. Oh, it looks like the chat is disabled. So ask our representatives to see if they can maybe answer that and swip that around. And then at the end, we'll open it up to a Q&A session for everybody. So as we work to get that done, once that's done, hopefully that'll give you guys a chance to drop in where you're from. Interested to kind of know where everybody's watching today. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. What if I told you that an average life of about 80 years contains about 700,000 hours? It seems like a lot, but as you start to work through it a bit, it may not be as much as you thought. And you see, we spend about a third of those hours asleep. So that really only leaves us with about 500,000 waking hours. And so every conscious moment that we have is really probably built into that 500,000 hours of that life that we get. And it feels like every year that goes by, this amount of time seems to be going smaller and smaller, and that fact becomes more and more relevant. And I say that as I just dropped off my two children this morning to school again for yet another year. So it feels like a lot of time, but it's obviously very short. And one of the things that really has come to my perspective here in the last 12 months is that our user community within our enterprise justice case management platform has burned through that entire lifetime, 550,000 hours, not driving justice, but really validating update scripts and testing the software in preparation for a software upgrade. That's an incredible amount of energy and time spent on just doing standard maintenance to get the environment to where it needs to be for operating a case management system for justice. So in the fall of 2023, we had 89% of all of our enterprise justice clients were operating software versions that were 5 years or older. Really, what that means is that an overwhelming majority of our clients that really represent about half of the United States population were more vulnerable to modern security threats. They were less stable. They were missing out on the latest innovations that they were entitled to as part of their agreement with Tyler. And so with an average of only 10% of our clients upgrading each and every year, the trend was really bound to get worse. It was really going in the wrong direction. So we challenged our clients with this problem, and our clients rallied, and they did what they always do, and they stepped up and they aligned with us on tackling that challenge. And our clients have performed now 138 release upgrades in the past 18 months, which is a dramatic shift from what we were encountering before that. And that represents about a 440% increase in upgrades from what we were previously seeing. And today, I'm really pleased to say that we have 87% of our enterprise justice clients operating on a modern release. So in a much better state, more secure, and able to take advantage of some of those features that we mentioned. So while this is admirable and impressive, it's not the dedication that we should celebrate. It's really a tax we had to abolish. And big bang on-premise releases, they ask you to live a lifetime in test environments, and that's not really, I think, what our focus ought to be as a justice space. Moving ahead, we're investing a lot of our focus and a lot of our solutions in frequent SaaS-based updates that land in minutes and not lifetimes. And so our supervision, our e-filing, electronic filing, and our correction solution clients are already on a 100% SaaS-based environments, and they experience the significant benefit today. So we're very confident in the approach. In fact, our enterprise justice case management SaaS customers have already received 11 times the number of updates as their on-premise peers over the past 12 months. So it's a really good step in the right direction to keeping the software updated and on a current release that's modern and has the security protections in place. Looking ahead, our 2025 software release is going to be the last one that's specifically developed for on-premise clients. Now, this is the largest ever release made by Tyler, and I say that not just for our courts and justice division, but all of Tyler. We've maintained and modernized the core of this enterprise justice platform for many years, and this new release contains new tech modernization, stability enhancements, future-proofing us that is really 5 times larger than any other release that we've ever had before. Although we continue to support our on-premise customers, and will continue to do so with defect fixes, legislative change support, security updates, it's very apparent that the market has really just shifted. And with the advancements of AI, the benefits that we're seeing in faster time to value and quality in SaaS, and the direction of the market, our future investment's going to lean more and more heavily on SaaS. But why do we make this change? I think that's kind of the pressing question. Really, what's the mission? And for us, I think it's to give back those 550,000 hours to our partners so that they're not using that time to upgrade software or to maintain it, but really to help drive efficiency, to identify and eliminate rote work, to enhance security, and share measurable results with their constituents and fellow communities. It's really about the mission. And the mission really is because the next lifetime that they invest should not be about testing software or installing their software, but rather living out that mission. And so as we get into today's session, I just kind of want to open it up with our first poll question, which is, what brought you to the presentation today? What's your mission? Are you just checking out what's new? Are you looking to purchase a solution like artificial intelligence, analytics, or maybe even transition to a SaaS platform, develop a deeper product knowledge, or maybe something else completely different? You should see the poll pop up in your window, and if you could answer that, that'd be great. While you're doing that, I'll just read from a couple of places. We've got participants from Guadalupe County, Texas, Miami and Kissimmee, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona. We got a Vienna, Virginia. We got some team members from Kansas and Nebraska, Maryland, Yuba City, California, Nashville, Tennessee, Pierre, South Dakota, Portland, Maine, Center, New England, it's Knox County, Winfield, Kansas, Roswell, New Mexico, and much, much more. So thank you for putting all of those in the chat. It looks like we've got some results from our first poll. Most are just checking out what's new, although we have a few that are looking to develop product knowledge and a few others that have something else. So appreciate that poll, appreciate the response, and of course, adding where you're from today. So let's go ahead and jump in. As we think about the future, we continue to make significant investments across our products so that our clients can focus their efforts towards the people that are directly impacted by their work. Our new Enterprise Justice 2025 platform was built just to do that. It's the next generation of our flagship product, our Enterprise Justice Case Management System for courts, and it includes upgraded technology that allows for future advancements and efficiencies for the foreseeable future. For the technologists that we have here on today's webinar, we've dramatically simplified the technology stack and we've reduced our dependency on older technologies. We've also removed the need for the Trident browser engine from our solution, which was scheduled to be end of support in 2029 by Microsoft. So this really future-proofs the solution for years to come. Enterprise Justice 2025 has significant improvements in the core technology stack. And why that's important is that it allows for us to make great strides in our SaaS investments, as well as the integration and utilization of our AI technologies that we're developing here at Tyler. Let me explain a little bit more. The Enterprise Justice 2025 transition enables court leaders to transform the court and deliver more value to the constituents faster. So we focus on value delivery instead of software management and utilization. And the investments that we made are echoed across our entire portfolio of products. We want to enable our partners and transform team members to deliver value each and every day and eliminate redundant work while creating more effective and efficient pathways to create great outcomes. So SaaS, analytics, and artificial intelligence make a huge difference in the court. These are enablers and empower courts to make more meaningful change and drive greater outcomes. But let me give you a real world example. With our market-leading electronic filing solution, documents are e-filed into Tyler system more than 200,000 times a day. That's a lot of traffic coming through the system. And the filers, they submit those filings and they go into the electronic filing review queue where the clerks review them. And after they review them, they'll make a determination on whether to send it back to the filer if there are any errors, or if it's illegible, but most of the time, and about 95% of the time, what we see is an acceptance. And when they accept that filing, then they have to then go into the case management system and complete the remaining docketing actions, things like validating payments, scheduling hearings, sending out notices. All of those actions are done within our case management system. So it's really a swivel chair, dual-pronged approach. And with that, it means that the clerks have to review those filings inside of our e-filing platform and then turn right back around and go into the case management system to perform post-acceptance actions as part of that intake process. And that takes time. The process takes approximately 3.5 minutes on average for the e-file system to review those documents, and then another 4 minutes or so to complete the docketing actions within the case management system. So on average, about 7.5 minutes per envelope. If you multiply that by the 200,000 times that it occurs a day, and you take the average rate of the clerks across the country, that's about $825,000 a day, or about $198 million a year that the court systems are spending just on document intaking from electronic filings, which seems really extravagant, especially when you consider that a lot of these documents are very common. They're fairly consistent, especially with most of the states now adopting what we call electronic filing standards to standardize the type of codes that are submitted with those filings. So this is a great opportunity for us to lean into artificial intelligence, and that's where our AI automated e-file review and docketing solution can help. You see, we use AI-enabled agents that have been purposely coded to navigate the portal, find work, and send it to our AI engines, and then they perform appropriate actions based upon what the filer submitted and what the AI was able to uncover. We actually use 3 different AI engines, or agent bots, I should say. These AI-enabled agents, we have one that does optical character recognition that basically reads the document, another one that classifies and separates the document, and then a final that extracts and redacts that information from the document. They all have the ability to learn on their own. And so AI in our case has the ability to improve its accuracy all by itself, just with your typical processing that you would have day to day. And the AI can either run on CPUs, or if you're GPU equipped, you can also obtain even faster processing times. But the beauty of this is that those AI enabled agents all work together seamlessly on this specific task, and trying to get it documented into the case management system and complete those docketing action on behalf of the clerks. The benefits are pretty astounding. What we see is that it minimizes and it even eliminates the need for document review in the territories that it's been implemented in. It minimizes the data entry errors. If you take the human element out of it, it is more efficient and accurate. And then they can run offices at 24/7, accepting and docketing filings, even while they're not even at the office, which is pretty neat to see. Now, there's a nuance associated with that. When these AI-enabled agents can work while you're not, that means that the work shifts to more back office work that is then there and ready and waiting for the clerks when they come into the office the next day. So there is definitely a balance there. But more importantly than anything, and this is really the key factor that really resonates with me, is it can increase employee satisfaction, because the employees, they get to work on more meaningful work as opposed to just doing the redundant intake process that is fairly monotonous day in and day out. So being able to free up that employee capacity and then reallocate them to things that may be more meaningful, not only for them, but also for the constituents that they serve, is a pretty neat thing. We saw this with the Superior Court in Stanislaus, California, and they're a great example of leveraging this technology. You see, when they observed court filings increase, they turned to automation and AI-enabled agents rather than adding staff. And this helped them eliminate a backlog that averaged more than 300 criminal complaints. And they were able to keep up with daily filings for the first time in a while. And they were one of the recipients of our Tyler Excellence Award this year. and really proud of how they implemented that technology and really what it meant for them in their office in terms of efficiency. I think Tarrant County out of Fort Worth, Texas is another great success story where they've implemented the same solution and saw some similar success. They've implemented it with their county court at law, and that AI enabled agent is in that office the number one rated resource in terms of processing and intaking documents, and that handles over 20% of the documents alone. They implemented another AI-enabled agent for the probate office there. And again, number one in terms of processing speed and accuracy at 14% of all the filed documents. So really neat to see they're able to then shift those resources that were previously doing that work into other tasks that they've been wanting to do for a very long time, but just never really had the capacity to do so. So really neat feature, really neat tool, really excited about what it means for our customer base. If you want to find out some more, I mentioned Stanislaus Superior Court in California, how they solved, their increased filings challenge with document automation and AI-enabled agents, rather than adding additional staff. I'm out of a QR code here. If you want to scan that QR code, you can read more about that particular use case. I'll sit here for just a second, take a drink of water, and give everyone a chance to scan it if they'd like. All right. Next, I kind of want to talk a little bit more about doing more with less. You see, the world is continuing to get squeezed, and it feels like everyone is looking to stretch their dollars. And the courts, they're no different. Budgets are tight, and courts are continually challenged to do more with less. And Tyler understands this challenge. We're focused on trying to create, develop, and provide solutions that reduce and even eliminate work for the courts and also their IT staff, just freeing up that capacity so that they can focus on, maybe more pressing priorities. And SaaS and automation tools can help reduce that workload and unlock that capacity to work on that more meaningful work. And when we think about the solutions inside of the court system, we often have, at least I do, I often gravitate towards the clerks and the courts. And I start to think about the heavy workload burdens that those two stakeholders really carry for the justice system. And rightfully so. These stakeholders in the justice system, they do phenomenal work to keep business operations moving efficiently and smoothly. But we also need to think about the IT staff because they also fall into the same boat. And local shops that have their own IT staff, they're being asked to stretch their IT dollars as far as they can and do it with limited staff, just like the clerk's office and just like the courts. And so by migrating to a SaaS environment, you can pass a lot of the burden of managing the infrastructure, the networking, the application management to the vendor, the software vendor, and really unlock IT staff so that they can focus on keeping their own networks protected and safe. Our customers have also, that have made the transition, have observed a 55% reduction in issues when performing upgrades in the SaaS environment as opposed to on-premise. So by having the application experts manage the application, it can actually yield more favorable results. And our latest version of enterprise justice that's hosted in the SaaS environment is the next level of efficiency and effectiveness. It frees up IT staff from the burden of ongoing maintenance of the solution and costly servers. Consistent packages and revision management helps keep our customers current and, more importantly, protected, which is really important with all the cybersecurity attacks that are abound. Additionally, SaaS customers are getting more frequent deployments. The idea here is we have smaller packages. And so instead of waiting a very long time with these large packages that contain numerous changes, you deliver quickly, but very small packages. See, the fewer changes results in a reduced number of variables that have been modified, and that provides for more predictable outcomes. It allows for you to easier triage the problems and then identify where they exist and then correct them. And so if you only have just a few variables to evaluate, it's much more efficient than trying to find a needle in a haystack. And our SaaS customers are seeing tremendous benefits already from this transition. It's a project that we've titled Project Alamo. And Project Alamo is really a focus on our customers that are based here out of the state of Texas. And our customers are experiencing 42 upgrades per month compared to 12 that we were seeing and observing before we kicked off this initiative. So that's a 250% increase in the upgrades per month. And the experience has been so positive that many of our customers are asking us to go even faster. So it's a good data point for validation. That means it's a step in the right direction for us. One of our key customers who have been recently performed an upgrade as well as transitioned to SaaS at the same time did just that and realized that value. And that customer is the El Paso IT department. And they were another Tyler Excellence Award winner for us this year. You see, they performed a cloud hosted implementation and went through a fully paperless transition in the criminal courtroom on the very first day. Additionally, they did so while they were also implementing enterprise supervision across their county, which demonstrates that they still had the capacity to do additional things while still making this important transition. Now that they've offloaded that work to Tyler, we're managing now the application for them in the cloud. They've freed up that capacity to work on other important projects. It really is a good step in the right direction, and they're really laying the path or for a solid foundation for their future. It's going to position them for great successes in the years ahead, but they'll be able to focus on some of those things that they've been wanting to do and just really haven't had the time to do that. Another significant value that our new Enterprise Justice 2025 offering provides is around the architecture. And with the new technology stack that we've got in our 2025 version, it's easier to integrate solutions. And we can now take advantage of some of those valuable benefits of current day technologies that we hadn't had the opportunity to do so in the past. And so we've got built-in automation testing capabilities that are built directly into the application. That's important because it's an important part of this transition, as it allows for us to replicate business process workflows that are specific to specific jurisdictions. This allows us to test the solution the way that our users use the system, and we can validate that it works for the work that they perform. And it's really the cornerstone for the rapid deployment model of getting that fast, quick, smaller releases out into the field. The tool that we've built to do these automation tests is 15 times faster than the previous tool, and tests that previously took hours to create now only take a few minutes. And more importantly, on the backside, the execution or the runtime of these tests has also been dramatically reduced and allows us to move towards a rapid delivery model while testing each time that we do a software build, making sure that we're not introducing new issues for our customers. It's really a game changer because it not only provides a higher quality of software for our customers, but importantly, it removes the significant burden of testing from our clients. So we can run those client-specific test automation tests now after every time that we do a software build, and it saves our clients valuable time of not testing, and then allows them to focus on more pressing items. Now, safety and security, they're also key focuses of ours. It seems like every week, almost every day now, it feels like we hear about the latest justice partner being impacted by a cybersecurity attack. And the wild thing is that those are just the ones that we actually hear about. There's probably a lot more that actually occur. And so safety and security are really at top of mind. So that's why Tyler's partnered with AWS. Our partnership with AWS provides the next level of security for our clients. And Tyler's moved along with this industry on our own cloud development journey, and it's allowed for us to provide the agility necessary to help our customers overcome new challenges quicker. This is part of our continued innovation. The strategic collaboration with AWS allows Tyler to leverage the AWS cloud in a way that helps clients deliver better services and experience to their communities while improving security, reducing costs, and driving efficiencies. Tyler was named the State and Local Government Technology Partner of the Year in 2024, and it's an award that we're extremely proud of. By moving our operations from a hosting perspective into AWS, our clients are afforded really a lot of tremendous capabilities to defend against the ever-growing cybersecurity attacks that we face in the community. AWS has got a concept called the shared responsibility model, where AWS is responsible for the security of the cloud, whereas Tyler and other partners are responsible for the security in the cloud. This means that our clients will always have the latest version of security protocols from both an infrastructure and application perspective, and ensure their software and data remains protective against some of these sophisticated attacks. Additionally, AWS is structured in a way where they have data centers and multiple data centers and availability zones and regions, which when you add it all together, it really possesses the highest level of redundancy. See, these data centers, they contain numerous servers and numerous machines that are virtualized and then put into a single location, but those single locations are possessed inside of what they call availability zones. And these availability zones contain multiple data centers. And then when you say that you've got multiple availability zones inside of regions, it really contains a very large multifaceted footprint of infrastructure that minimizes the potential for distributed denial of service attacks and provides the redundancy to make sure that the court operations are maintained and operational 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. So if you've been with us before, you've heard any of our presentations over the last couple of years, you've probably heard about our vision called Connected Communities. And the vision of Connected Communities was about ensuring that all of our Tyler products work together seamlessly, bringing value to our clients in a uniform way, no matter what portion of the justice system they operated in. But we also want to ensure that our Tyler products provide an efficient way for our clients to perform day-to-day tasks, eliminate the need for continuously jumping between different software solutions, and give them the best position to move forward with any initiatives that they may want to chase. And so we now have the ability to kind of streamline things a bit more and embed integrated solutions and features such as Judge Edition, which is a tool that allows for judges to effectively manage their caseload. We can now embed those directly into the case management software. So the same can be said with other Tyler applications like our e-file and serve, our market-leading electronic filing software, or our analytics, our data metrics and visualization tools. By hosting these applications directly inside of our case management system, it allows our clients to customize their experience so that they're more effective each and every day. So speaking of analytics, one of the primary goals recently has been focused on improving the visibility of data for our clients. We took on this initiative to provide visualizations of the data from inside Tyler systems that they use each and every day to help illustrate a story about what's happening on the ground in the courthouses across the country. This provides valuable insights for our stakeholders so that they can make more informed decisions using data as the catalyst to validate their instincts. Our analytics applications provide visualizations of the most important operational data from our clients' Tyler systems, such as e-filing and case management. Our e-filing dashboards are specifically designed for reviewers, court administrators, judges, and business analysts, and they've been designed in partnership with our customers to ensure they are simple, easy to use, and drive the greatest value possible. For case management, or what we call court analytics, we design tools to give significant visibility into clerks' offices and courts' operations. It allows you to identify bottleneck areas and place significant investments on what can bring the most value to the constituents as quickly as possible. These dashboards are not, they're just a button click away, whereas before you had to get into a different application. And so having them be embedded in the case management system and providing the transformative insights should be a step in the right direction to improving business operations for our clients. In addition to e-file and court analytics, we've also taken a similar approach with our supervision customers. and building pretrial analytics and a probation analytics solution, both of which can be accessed directly inside of our enterprise supervision platform. Pretrial analytics is really focused around risk assessments, public safety rates, and other key metrics to better evaluate the decisions made in the pretrial process. Probation analytics, on the other hand, is about program effectiveness, understanding what is working, what's not working for supervised individuals, and to complete the probation process successfully. Finally, we're extending out analytics offerings to jury and the corrections front. The jury analytics solution contains key metrics such as juror yield and utilization, as well as measuring the effectiveness of different campaigns like text messages and website utilization. It can track mileage expenses and much, much more. Corrections analytics is focused on managing the influx and release of inmates, showing detailed metrics on bookings, releasings, and holds. So for me, I'm a data guy, and so visualizing data is really fun. And really, I appreciate the opportunity to look at the data because it really can be very empowering. But I'd like to dig into why we created these analytics and how our customers who are likely the peers of the audience members here are utilizing them in the different ways. There's an important saying, you may have heard it, you can't change what you don't measure. And that is really kind of the foundation by which we started to move in this direction. We wanted to empower our clients to be able to measure the efficiency and productivity of their office and really eliminate or automate work that's currently causing backlogs. If we can identify the bottleneck, then we can take measures to remove that bottleneck. So first, let's talk about e-file analytics. This is our most tenured justice analytics product, and it's being used in a number of courts across Texas, Vermont, Massachusetts, California, Georgia, Illinois, and a few other states. This product gives full visibility into envelope processing, including the average time to process an envelope, clerk statistics on envelope processing, filer information, clarity around the differences between attorneys and self-represented litigants, and the rejection reasons for each, and a whole lot more. At a glance or a high level, you can ask questions like, like which firm is submitting the largest volume of rejected pleadings, and maybe there's a training opportunity there. Or what time of the day and what day of the week is the filing volume the highest? Maybe you can reallocate more resources to doing intake at that time. Or finally, maybe something like which pleadings are requiring the most time to process, and maybe there's something there that you can dig into to figure out why that's the case. Many of our clients are using it to gauge whether reviewers need more training, to decide on whether to offer overtime, or to even evaluate the efficiency of remote work. You can also measure the efficiency of your document review process through our document automation solution that leverages those AI agents and seeing the overtime impact on processing duration and filings pending review. I'd like to share with you a success story here for the state of Massachusetts and their trial courts. You see, in the state of Massachusetts, e-file is not mandatory and it's not fully adopted. So to assist with the adoption efforts to try to gain better traction, the court then chose to implement e-file analytics. And the statistics are being interpreted in many different ways, and this team is dedicated to not only learning the numbers, but truly understanding them. So the trial courts created a small community of subject matter experts, and those individuals, those SMEs is what we call them. They're the brokers of the information for those departments. And they're using data points like average processing time. And by doing so, they're able to then have a fact-based dialogue with the clerks about how frequently the queues need to be monitored, developing plans, and helping train and support on the implementation of e-filing. It's resulted in a large adoption of e-filing, where some of the courts were just focusing on maybe a few case types. They've now expanded the case types that are now available for electronic filing, as well as the adoption from the legal professional community due to the experience. So the Massachusetts Trial Court was another recipient of the Tyler Excellence Award this year, and phenomenal work has been done to try to accelerate that program. Court analytics is next up. We really originally focused on metrics that are really driven by the National Center for State Courts, things like age of active pending cases, and time to disposition. Those metrics are extremely valuable, and they provide visibility into the active case backlog, which is very important. But we've also now just recently pivoted in a bit on this offering and started to move more towards operational insights for the clerks. Things like the effectiveness about task management and process building data, pulling in financial data, and then providing a dashboard that's focused more on specific roles. So for example, a judge's dashboard may measure backlog and time to disposition, but the clerk's dashboard, on the other hand, can be used to manage the efficiency of processing cases in their office. So really a neat pivot. I'm excited about where we're headed with that particular tool and the value that it will bring our clients. And finally, I'll go into jury analytics. It's jury analytics. We call it the new kid on the block, but it allows for a lot of valuable insight, financial data like fee donation rates, juror fees paid by case type or by offense. It helps give valuable insight into jury operations. Another neat data metric that we're tracking is the effectiveness of different campaigns like text messages, web traffic, and jury summons. It really gives you into the insight as to, like what's working and what's not. It can also let jurors and clerks alike observe the impacts of changes to jury summons. For example, many courts we're observing are switching from long letter form to postcards for their jury summons. And so the data metrics that we're gathering from that has been really telling. Spoiler alert, the postcards show equal or higher value in terms of jury yield, and they cost a whole lot less. So good transition, saving the court money and also resulting in a higher jury yield for the community. So pretty neat. So as the burden of supporting an on-premise servers lifted, folks transition more to a cloud-based operation. We mentioned that it can further relieve some of that IT pressure that it comes along with supporting the infrastructure there. The same can be said with supporting data extracts and pipelines. You can offload that to Tyler. We can manage that data extraction process and provide a steady access to near real-time verified data. These operational dashboards that come as a result of that are built on the same framework and can be combined into a single data access point. So why that's important is it lets our customers combine metrics across different products to gain powerful insights into business operations. Sequencing becomes an effect here, and timing as well. And so as you combine different data elements from different solutions, disparate solutions, you can see things maybe in a different way. We'll continue to invest here and expand the data that's available to our customers for the foreseeable future. Really, we're going to continue to encompass more and more source products into this, not only Tyler, but also third-party applications. What this means is that our customers will be able to correlate whatever data that they have, whether it be within Tyler systems or whether it's in non-Tyler systems, which is really what this is all about, empowering our clients to be able to have the best, most accurate information to make the best decisions possible for our communities. There's another area that we know a lot of efficiency can be lost. And if you've been in the case management business for some time now, you'll realize that state reporting can be a very laborious activity. It can consume a lot of oxygen and sometimes be a bit challenging. And so we're doing some exciting work around this particular area with a few clients. And I wanted to highlight one of the new projects that we've undertaken specifically with the state of Texas. You see, last year we started an ambitious project with the state of Texas to collect case level data from all 2,200 courts. So this would be at the Supreme, the appellate, the district, the county, the justice of the peace, and even the municipal courts. And the end goal here is to provide a more efficient state reporting solution, offering near to real-time data directly to the state. Our vision here is to see a future where manual state reporting and still data are a thing of the past, and where automated data feeds right into an analytics platform that allows for refreshed data continually can be looked upon on visualizations and different ways, maybe gleaning some additional insight, but getting that data in a more readily fashion. This would not only help the state, but it also allows for the clerks to be able to then focus their attention on business process innovations, They can catch any data hygiene issues before they become too overwhelming, and then really share up-to-date data with partners that they typically collaborate with. All of the data on this exciting program is centrally organized, and it's easily consumable for the staff that needs to. So there's no more end of month data aggregation that's going to take place. The work's just going to be done daily through the automated solution, and it'll be formatted and shipped on a recurring schedule. So really exciting times about this. One of the solutions and engagements that we'll be watching pretty closely. Now, you've heard us, a theme throughout this talk so far about how we're using data to connect up data silos, make challenges and successes more visible, and help stakeholders manage their courts, with accurate, up-to-date data. But analytics can help us change even more than work just from inside of our own courtrooms. Our goal is really to empower all of our justice stakeholders, analysts, administrators, clerks, policymakers, anyone that's involved in the justice space, to make the best decisions possible about the allocation of resources, modifying procedural workflows or policies, but doing so in an informed way, utilizing trusted data and actionable analytics. Like, our long-term vision is to help everyone in this community connect and then possess all of the data metrics across the justice system through their internal operations, so that they can use that for better decision making. And what this means is that Tyler products will not only talk to each other, but will also talk to other products. And what this means is, for the stakeholders, are the users, is that they'll be able to measure and manage not just individual processes within a single workflow or application, but the entire life cycle of a case from dispatch to disposition. And with that insight into the full life cycle of an individual's journey through the justice system, they'll be freed from only finding efficiencies within a single platform, to being able to gain a much more holistic appreciation into why the backlogs are being created, and what's causing those creations of those backlogs. So Tyler's going to continue to push and innovate in this area. We're going to continue to empower our clients to use their expert knowledge of all of the systems they work with and the people that they work with, and to help try to transform the justice system. So today we've covered a lot. We've reviewed key topics, but just want to recap them for you. Having a SaaS-based court case management system with built-in efficiencies like test automation that give you the ability to do those rapid deployments, provide the safest and best user experience. They protect you against those cybersecurity attacks by staying current, and they help buy back valuable resource time by outsourcing the upgrade process to the application experts. Number two is having an analytics or a data reporting platform provide you with valuable insights into your business operations. The more data that you can consume in a logical fashion and look at it in a very a methodical way, gives you the ability to make more informed data-driven decisions to help improve your business. And then finally, utilizing AI and other automation solutions can help address problematic areas. And as identified with your analytics solution, give you opportunity and insights into where to go invest in those two pretty emerging capabilities, giving you the ability to save valuable time and money. So with that, I got one more poll question, and then I'll close us out before opening it up to QA. This is, what's your priority? Which of these priorities or opportunities would your organization consider implementing first? Are you really here focusing more on a transition to a cloud-based SaaS hosting solution? You're really more focused around AI and maybe some of the new technologies that are out in the field? Or do you really need access into those analytics to be able to glean the insights to then decide on where to make that future investment? Or you could be unsure, and that's okay too. Sometimes these meetings can kind of help maybe start the thought process a bit more. And if you're in that boat, that's okay. All right. Appreciate you guys answering that poll for us. We will go ahead and get started. And then as we collect that, I'll share that with you as well. All right. So I kind of circle back around to this slide. Just as a kind of a humorous point, this is because it's time for us to wrap up. My kids don't appreciate my dad humor, but hopefully you do a bit as well. In all seriousness, though, a lifetime shouldn't be measured in memories. I mean, should be measured in memories, not in test cases to validate software quality. Like, we should be thinking about the things that matter and not spending our energy and our time doing things that should be done by software. And really, as we start to think about that a little bit more, our software upgrades and software inefficiencies shouldn't age us. We should be able to sleep well at night. In fact, we all deserve to reap the benefits of court software efficiency, specifically in the justice space. And software updates, those should be things that we should be able to sleep through without worries. So what I would encourage us all to do is continue on this journey. I know it's a lot. I know it's a significant transformation for this space, but let's trade one lifetime spent for testing millions and millions of lifetimes. Instead of testing, spend it on impacting justice in a positive way, making justice stay online in a reliable and efficient way. That's really what our goal is. I hope you'll join us on that journey. With that, we'll open it up to any Q&A that may be outstanding. If you haven't added any questions and you'd like to, the Q&A section is the place to do that. I'll go through the Q&A and read the questions and then answer those here as we have those come in.
We've already got quite a few queued up for you,
Awesome.
and a couple of people with their hands raised.
Fantastic. All right, let's start off with the first one. Will we still have 24/7 access to our own production systems data to be able to build our own integrations and custom queries and reports as needed? Yeah, it is. Thank you, Ellen. That is a great question. Yes, there's multiple ways around this. For just viewing information, being able to consume information, a lot of times we'll use what we call replicated environment. It's near to real-time access to that information to be able to consume that. You can run queries on it. You can get all the information that you need. And I'm assuming this is rooted in on the Saas component. If you need to do updates or modifications to the systems, APIs are the best way to do that. We see customers that kind of do both. They use the replicated instance to glean the insights into what needs to be modified, and then they'll use the APIs to update those. We're still in the process of really expanding upon our API set, making them more modern and RESTful. And of course, we'll have encryption along the way, both in transit and at rest. So hopefully that helped answer your question. Next one is any data stored or retained as part of training or improving your AI systems? Are third-party vendors involved in the AI process? And if so, do they have access to the data? Great question. These training of the system is done through the documents that are being used as part of that system. Sometimes we'll use, with the court's permission, of course, their data to seed some of that AI modeling, the machine learning model, and that will help kind of get that process started. We're getting into a place now where we can actually do a 0.0 shot AI model training, which is really kind of cutting edge. We don't store any of that information. Most of that information is actually stored just as part of the justice record in itself, but we don't store a copy of it on our side or anything like that. We do use that information as it comes through the system as part of that program to help continue to train that model. That's how those models get smarter over time and more accurate. But we don't keep that, nor do we share it with third-party vendors as part of that. So hopefully that answered your question. Next one is, how does automation testing validate custom developed business processes? Great question. So what we're doing as part of this program is actually documenting with our partners business processes that they use in terms of their system utilization. Now, that's how do the users get on the system and what steps did they do in order to finish out whatever that business process is. By encompassing that business process, documenting that, we then turn that into a video that we walk through, and then our automation engineers take that and then replicate that in the system using our new AI tool that basically closes that loop and runs that test for them. That thing gets saved off and then can be rerun over and over and over. And then the output is then measured and calculated. If it runs into an issue, that gets routed into our development team, who then goes back in and then fixes that. Then the automation test gets rerun again to validate that, and then that gets back put back into our automation suite that's run every single time. If there are custom business practices or processes that are encompassed as part of that solution, if it's any custom development that was involved in that, that's included in those business processes. So those are tested. In addition to the customer specific automation tests, we also run just application-based automation tests. We also have API tests. So there's multiple ways that we can tackle that, but most of that is actually captured as part of that end-to-end automation testing process. So great question. Okay. Also, how does automation testing ensure there is no regression on functionality? That is one of our highest pain points during the previous upgrades? Absolutely. Yeah. So the idea here is that if we can get the end-to-end business processes and then automate those, then that will produce any defects that may exist with how our customers use that software. And so you resolve those defects, but you got to make sure that you follow back around and then rebuild that automation test that included how that defect was created. Now, normally our customers are giving us all of those business processes, but what they don't really give you is the unhappy path, meaning they give you the way that it should be done, but we're all human and we all do things a little bit differently, right? So if someone clicks the button 6 times instead of just once, that maybe that 6th time creates that defect. Well, we'll have to go fix that defect and then go create an automation test that captures that. The idea here is that every time that we do a software upgrade, we'll run that suite of tests, and it also improves over time because as defects happen to make its way through, which should be minimal, we'll go fix those defects, then create an automation test, and so it'll provide that perpetual value moving forward. I think that the other piece of this that's really important is reducing the amount of variables that are included in those upgrades and doing them more frequently. By doing that, you're limiting the variables that are touched. Sometimes those issues can occur when a certain sequence of events happen in a specific order. And so you're minimizing those variables, which allows for you to identify the issues, resolve them, and then move forward instead of going backwards. Okay, great. What is your automation tool built on? LeapWorks or Catalan? Yeah, it's a proprietary solution built inside of our solution. It's built off of Catalan, though. We do have Selenium-based solutions. It really just depends upon where you're looking at. We've got multiple automation tools. We have used LeapWorks. We'll continue to use LeapWorks in some capacity, but what we're doing is we're actually using multiple solutions. The key here is that certain solutions excel in certain areas where others excel in other areas. And so the strategy that we're implementing is at least starting in the areas in which they excel in. We may consolidate at a later date, but right now we're using multiple solutions. Great question. All right, next is, how do you consider the potential impacts of your product on individuals involved in court proceedings? How do you migrate potential harm such as reputational damage, privacy concerns, or other unintended consequences for people whose records are in your data sets? Yeah, so we take security extremely, it's extremely important for us. We take it extremely seriously. The data that we get and that we are using as part of this whole process isn't our data, it's the court's data, and we're restricted by the rules and statutes just like everybody else. And so there are pieces of information that needs to be locked down or secured or sealed or confidential depending upon court proceedings by statute or either by court order. We protect those as required by law. Of course, the public access policies will vary depending upon where you are across the country, and there's a wide variance around that. We follow the statute according to that, and really kind of try to fall within the regulations that we are held accountable for. So I don't know if that answered your question, but happy to circle back around. Is Making Justice Measurable dashboard built on Socrata? Yes, it is. It's our data and analytics platform is what we've renamed it, but yes, it is built on that technology. And then when will Tyler offer true SaaS product for EJ? Current solution looks like it's a lift and shift to AWS. Yeah, great question. That's what I'm talking about with our 2025 version. So as you move over to our 2025 version, you'll start to see that more rapid software updates. This isn't going to be more commensurate with what you would see as a commercial product, like maybe an Amazon. We won't get to the number of frequency that maybe Amazon does, but you'll start to see that on a more methodical basis where it's truly managed set of services. That's that real transition. We really needed to transition to the 2025 version of the software because of the technology efficiencies that really afford us that opportunity. But that's when you'll start to see that. Okay, I don't have Noel the access to see hands raised, so maybe you can help me with that.
Sure can. It's Trina Holland, and you should be able to ask your question now, Trina.
Great, thank you. When packages are delivered, how will our filers find out that information as to what is?
I'm sorry, I couldn't, Trina, I couldn't hear you on that.
Oh, when packages are going to be delivered, how will filers find that information?
When packages are delivered, how will Tyler provide that information? Is that the question?
Yes.
Yeah,
Is
okay,
it going to
sure.
be monthly? Is it going to be bi-weekly? And is there a website? Like, how do they know what's changed in the application if they need to know new functionality, as an
Yeah.
example?
Yeah, great question. Sorry, apologies for not being able to hear you. Yeah, so right now with our 2025 version, we're updating production on a weekly basis. That may shift back out to a bi-weekly basis, but that's our current cadence right now. We will provide that information ahead of time. So it gets into the stage environment, provides a runway there for testing before you move it into production. Usually that's about a week delay cadence that goes into stage a week before, then goes into production the following week. That's the current cadence. Subject to changes, we get more feedback from our customers as we move forward. But part of that is the documentation around with what changes are included as it gets delivered in the stage environment so that they can go test it. What we'll also do is run that test suite for our clients and provide the results for them so that they can see what is the outcome of those test results so that they don't have to spend the time doing that. And then if they want to go poke in a few specific areas, they can spend their time a little bit more judiciously as opposed to doing complete end-to-end testing. So hopefully that helps. I think the big catalyst here that's allowing for us to be able to make the change is the twofold. One is the automation testing suite that tests based on your business processes to make sure that we're testing the system how you're using the system. And then the second is just being able to provide the smaller updates that only contain just a couple of edits as opposed to the hundreds, if not thousands, that maybe we were previously accustomed to. Does that help?
Yes. And then will they be those smaller updates? Are they going to be provided somewhere? I'm sorry, I might have missed that answer.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll provide that documentation to our customers. We'll also provide the testing results, and we'll also update the stage environment a week in advance so the customers can go do their testing as well. And again, that's subject to change. It may be 2 weeks in advance. It just really depends upon the feedback that we get as we make the transition.
But the information will be provided to the customers.
That's right.
I'm assuming to Minnesota, but how do we get that out to our filers, everyone, the public?
Right now, in the context of what I'm talking about is really around enterprise justice. I think your e-filing software is already kind of following a similar cadence. But happy to take that offline with how you guys would get that out to your filing community members around that particular product. I don't know if the enterprise justice is more of kind of the courts case management system. It's more of a back office type thing where the public doesn't use unless it's the public access portal, which is a little different. But if there's a need for us to communicate to the public in some capacity about the case management upgrade, happy to work with you on that.
That would be great. We're planning on going live here in 2 months, two or 3 months. So that would be great if we could touch base.
Yeah, for sure. At the end, I'll go ahead and do that while I'm answering questions. There's a QR code and my email address. Feel free to shoot me a note.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other hands? We're over on time.
I do not see any more hands. Oh, there's one. Let me see. Sorry, I have to scroll.
Ken, go ahead.
There you go.
Yeah, so you mentioned the public access portal. I had assumed that would not be available in in your SaaS solution? Is that the case or not?
Yeah, we're switching Ken over to research as our new solution. I'm just using public
Right.
access as kind of a generic term. But yeah, we're using that switch over to research for our customers that want to use our solution, and we're providing APIs that for customers that
Okay.
want to either build their own or outsource it to another party to build that solution for them.
Okay. So is the public access portal though currently still ported and available into EJ 2025 on-prem?
It's still available. I think we have a end of support on it.
Yeah, you do.
But it's still available. We
Alright.
won't be making any updates to it after that time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Anything else? For those still around, thank you very much for the opportunity. I really appreciate being able to speak with you today. Thanks for joining in and actually participating too. It makes it such a much more enjoyable presentation. So thank you very much.
Yes, and thank you, Terry and Noel, on behalf of NACM for your presentation today. I believe everyone will get a survey of some sort to let us know what you thought of today's presentation. And you can watch for it to be posted on our website here when it's available. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Let me stop.